the only way to accept an award for a beautiful cinematic is to then render out another beautiful cinematic. Again, thank you and congratulations there, I guess, for Gandalf on your award. But now we're going to be moving forward to the International Video Creator of the Year. Again, a lot of names out there that deserve to be on this list, but 4 voted on by the community that got to the very top. Frostfangs, Gabanet, Creepers, and Renan X. There can only be one winner. So your International Video Creator of the Year is Renan X. Again, a lot of video content that you can do. Go find their YouTube channel. It is immense, the amounts that you can find. All great videos that you can do. So congratulations on Renan for your award, and I hope to continue seeing you create content as time goes forward. But now we're moving to the last one, the big one that comes through for your Video Creator of the Year. Now your 4 nominees are Andrew Chicken, Jay Flair, Kami VS, as well as So Good, who was mentioned a little bit earlier, but a lot of great videos that are out there. But your winner for this one is going to be Kami VS.
Oh my goobers! You guys actually chose me. Thank y'all. It is an absolute honor to win Video Creator of the Year. If you asked me 5 years ago what I'd be doing, it would not be playing video games online and letting people watch me make a fool of myself. So instead of doing my typical cheesy celebration type of editing, like that, or doing some cheesy poof effect that make me look like I turn into a cat, nope. Instead, I'm just gonna thank everybody who voted, everyone that's part of my community, just all you amazing people out there that watch my content. Thank you so much. Without you guys, I would not exist. If you have yet to see me make a fool of myself or don't know what a Kami ult is, feel free to look me up on YouTube, Kami VS, and I stream on Twitch, KamiGG_. KamiGG was already taken, don't ask. Again, thank you so much for voting, and thank you so much to Hi-Rez for providing me with this awesome trophy. And remember, always ask the important question. Who is Neil?
Now, Kami, congratulations again on winning Video Creator of the Year. Hope to see more content from you in the future, as well as everybody that was here, whether they were winners or nominees. All great content creators that I suggest you go check out and support the way you can. But that does it for the video portion of the Crystals. We'll be back later with a couple more awards.
Welcome back, everybody. Congratulations to everyone who won a crystal. Make sure you stay in tune all weekend so we can continue to reveal some of the most exemplary members of the Paladins community all weekend long. But for now, we've got to get back into the action. We've got our second quarterfinal matchup for you here. ClownFiesta going up against Interstellar. I'm joined now by the one, the only, the #1 Joe Burrow fanboy in the entire world, Dave.
God, stop,
Olsen.
Here's me.
Well, am I wrong?
Well, you're right, but I wasn't thinking about Joe Burrow for 5 seconds, and now I got to remember everything that's happened there, and I got to come back down to earth.
He's young. He's going to come back better than ever. It's going to be fine.
They did say it was successful surgery. We're good. We're on the right track there.
Love to hear that for the boy. Let's take a look at some of these teams and what we can expect here, Dave. Because yesterday in North America, everything I thought I knew about Paladins got turned upside down. And let me tell you, when that small sippy cup turned upside down, it was a lot, okay? It was a lot for me. The top seeds did not do what we expected for the vast majority of yesterday, save for the second seed in Snappin'. They look fantastic. They go on to win. ClownFiesta, the second seed here in Europe, maybe they can reprise the same sort of role. Do you think ClownFiesta has that same type of run in them that Snappin' did yesterday?
That is a very quick yes for me. I actually, in a weird way, obviously they qualify as second seed. They're kind of giving me like first seed vibes here recently. I don't know. This team has really hit its stride down the stretch. Some early phase woes really is what set them up for a taller hill to climb as far as qualification and what seed they end up qualifying into and those sorts of things. But this is a very good squad, maybe the best. I don't see a world where they don't, potentially make it on into the finals. Obviously, I can't call it this early on, but I expect more of the same from what we saw yesterday out of our, quote, second seed. But this team has been playing like what could be the first seed here as of late. Really, everyone firing on all cylinders. Every role on this team has been really meshing together super well. nobody really seems like a weak point on this team in my eyes, and obviously that's going to be very difficult to beat. So high expectations for ClownFiesta for sure.
I think that's fair. Whenever they've got names like Alex and Simsaloo on your squad, you're gonna be doing pretty well for yourself the vast majority of the time. On the other side, Interstellar, another team here in Europe, much like Celestial, that has shown moments of being able to compete with this top end, but not have been able to do it consistently.
Yeah, I mean, this is, third seed kind of fits this vibe for this squad, in that, they've shown those streaks, that they've shown those flashes of brilliance. They've, obviously done pretty well as far as a high competition region that has been EU. I mean, there's a lot of teams here in EU that really go toe-to-toe with one another throughout a lot of these. Barcode, glad we're highlighting him. I think he's the one who's got to carry the weight today, especially when you're considering the names we just brought up that are playing over on this ClownFiesta team. Keeping up with Alex, keeping up with Simsaloo. I mean, that's not a task I don't think anyone walks into lightly. So the DPSs for Interstellar, they got to step up here today. I think the frontline battle is going to be fun to watch, somewhat even there. Healer battle, I think, same. This game, I think, might tilt on how the DPSs are playing.
Well, let's take a look and see what maps we will find this set on. We will not see Warder's Gate, Fish Market, Ascension Peak, or Shattered Desert, but we will see Stone Keep at the very least. That's where we're going to kick it off. Another set where we kick it off on Stone Keep, and I forget who it was yesterday. Maybe it was Gormizer who just said that Stone Keep is like the most quintessential Paladins map. I mean, it's got everything that if you got to do some testing, Stone Keep is the place to go. And so in that sense, I think it's a pretty good start to our set here between these two squads.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, there's the variability, I suppose, in how you want to play things here. We've seen teams go hyper mobility, just draft flanks and backline dive, and that's worked out. We've seen teams go very defensive and staunch point tank and sustaining them, and that's worked out. There's high ground pressure on the mid fight. There's low ground pressure on the mid fight. It's really hard to predict what teams are going to want to do, at least at an initial glance. Moving through the first few picks and bans, we'll definitely get a better idea. IO definitely makes some sense here, and it's really good. I forgot the term you used yesterday, but it's a good pick in that it doesn't necessarily reveal all that much about what you want to do this early on. You know what you're able to do, and that you can put Luna down, and maybe that leans towards a little bit more aggression, a little bit more forward pacing. But it seems to make sense here for ClownFiesta, not giving away too much and also getting maybe the most important healer on board.
Very interesting, though, how different picks and bans are from the very first set of the day, where Ruckus, Ash, Rom were all perma-banned every single game. None of those three are banned here, and Rom Ash immediately picked up by Interstellar. We saw Vivian be a big part of the highlights for Interstellar. It's going to be ClownFiesta who take it for themselves. And Parrot with the Shaolin, someone we didn't see at all in the first set of today, but did see a little bit of play in North America yesterday.
Shaolin's a pretty decent pick into this ROM as well. I mean, some of the ability to slow him down while he's running through things is definitely someone that you want on your side. So I like seeing the Shaolin here, and then even just outside of that individual matchup, what I'm getting now from Interstellar is I want to run at you, and ClownFiesta then have to answer, how are we going to deal with that? Well, Vivian and Shaolin are two DPSs that are very good at absorbing pressure, not necessarily in Vivian's case, because she has all this hypermobility, anything like that. She has the shield that'll keep her alive a little bit longer, but she just pours out damage. If I'm a ROM and I'm running at a Vivian and she has her Sentinels out, I'm expecting to lose most of my health bar on my way in there. Shaolin obviously can dip into stealth and all that sort of fun stuff, so good pick there as well. And Interstellar are going to continue with the aggressive trend here. Koga and Corvus. Corvus is going to be great at facilitating a lot of that aggression. And Koga started to become a pick here in Europe that definitely needs to be looked at. So I think now we're starting to see the cards put on the table. And Interstellar, they want to be aggressive.
Khan is going to be the tank of choice here with both Rom and Ash on the other side. No Ruckus quite yet, though we could see something along those lines here for ClownFiesta if they wanted to go two sort of off tanks. But instead they go with one off, 1 point tank. And Barrack has been usually one of those point tanks that we see teams go to. Terminus also seen a little bit of play. And here's one that we haven't seen really at all yesterday or today. in the Bomb King. How do you like it here for Interstellar?
Love it. Love it. Look, Bomb King, sad in that, obviously not necessarily sad, but in the way the kind of cross-play functionality has gone here in the PPC. Some blasters have seen more play, some have seen less play. Bomb King has kind of transcended some of that and really started to see more play over the final few weeks of the PPC, and I love it. Look, he controls space so well, basically makes areas unplayable, untraversable for a few members of ClownFiesta, and that even if I'm not hitting those shots directly, I'm laying all these traps, tossing out all these bombs that are going to prevent you from just operating in that area at all. And then if he does get directly in on you, massive burst damage. I like what Interstellar have drafted here. They're going to get aggressive, and they're going to run at you. I do think, that being said, ClownFiesta have some good answers to that aggression.
Let's see if that aggression is going to win out here in game number 1. Stone Keep kicking us off in our second quarterfinal.
Second set of the day. Hello, everybody. It's Fawn the Legend, and I'm joined here by Kresnik, my main man, as always, as we get into the second set of the European bracket. ClownFiesta versus Interstellar. We got second seed versus fourth seed here, Kresnik. So if history would repeat itself based off of the higher standings that we saw last game, I could only assume that maybe we might see a little bit of the same. I hope that's not the case for Interstellar, though.
I mean, Interstellar, they were able to take down Celestial the last time they played. It was close, but Clown should theoretically be a little bit closer to them in terms of skill, but an early start by Clown, I mean, that's great damage onto that Koga. The health bars are already swaying in Clown's side.
Well, it already seems like Rom has to back up. He doesn't want to push up too far because of his health bar. Barrick, he wants a piece of action and moves into the back line. The sprint from Rom gets forced out, and he has to find another way to reposition himself. Moves in the keep with the rest of his team, but Barcode, Snaze, they're going to get taken out. The first 2 kills of this set, as the rest of them have to find a way to retreat. Rom still holding keep mostly by himself, but look at this aggression already. The IO's opening up a door of opportunities for them to take advantage of, and it seems like they're just finding kill after kill. Rom has been the only one that hasn't been killed yet, but he gets crippled on the way out. ClownFiesta already captured this first objective, as Rom is pretty much stuck in here. He has to find some sort of way to make it worthwhile for him to be here. And I don't know if he's going to be able to find any sort of way out. The minute he tries to, he's going to get crippled and killed, just like this.
I mean, Envil just got so isolated there, and the car kept moving the entire time, so really tough to not have that worth out of distracting in the backline. But I have to bridge this question to you. After me and you casted the PPL last year, does it not feel weird to see Ninu and Simsaloo both playing the tanks right now, the Barrack and the Khan? It is kind of strange, but Snippy, he does fall there, but he seems to be doing an alright job capping the point, at least for everybody else.
Well, I mean, Alex already has a double kill. You have Ninu following through with the overpower. And yeah, it is a little bit weird to see these guys on some tanks more than anything. It's not the most obvious thing that you would expect to see them on. I mean, obviously we're known to seeing them on DPS, but clearly it's working out fine for them, because look at how much distance the cart has already moved, as it forces out the Cyclone from Koga. He's staying on point, trying to, of course, stall it out from Barrick, but they haven't really been stalled at all. ClownFiesta make this a 2-0 already, and my goodness, it seems like everything started to fall apart at the seams. Maybe Interstellar took a little bit too much poke damage. What do they have to look for here coming into this next round? That was so quick.
I think they were looking for the right thing there near the very end. I liked how Barcode was the one who contested the car with Cyclone Strike, and I know it seems a little bit backwards for that to be happening, but I think you need a tank to shove out that upper lane. So they sent someone up there to fight back Exentra, who I believe was the one standing up in that upper space, put Snaze in the way so that maybe the rest of the team can actually walk out. It just so happens that no one could apply any pressure to the backline of ClownFiesta, so Alex was able to stay alive there on the other side. But this IO, I think, is a massive help to them. Once they get to that point, they don't have to be contesting the point. They can just walk up the stairs with both their tanks and kind of shove them down. And you can already see, look at this early map control that ClownFiesta have. No one's really taking space on Interstellar. It's only the ROM, and we've seen only the Ash, excuse me, and kind of isolated. The VK finally rotates, but map control still, I would say, in favor of Clown.
They do have the assert dominance, though. Ash is going to have to find some way to use it, but she actually just opts to try and shoulder bash out. She can't. Would have died midair if anything in the middle of that engagement, but the percentage is still being gained. That's the presence that IO brings. Luna's been capping the whole time while they're being forced out. Khan, Ninu is not afraid to push forward and finds himself a kill onto the Bomb King. Meanwhile, the remaining members of Interstellar have to find some sort of way to retake. Ash dashes back in. She's back here for round 2 Electric Boogaloo, I would say, as she has the assert dominance. She wants to move it to the back, force things out the best way she can, but the overpower is there. They were waiting for everything to be used. Tosses her right off the side once again, and that's the power that Khan brings to the table against these two frontliners, the Rom and the Ash, struggling to find some sort of way in as he gets grabbed right on the sprint. Once again, the counters are there, and ClownFiesta capture another point with Ninu already engaged on the Rom. That's going to be a 3-0 on Stone Keep.
Ninu and Alex are just controlling this game. They are just in absolute command of it. There's no way for anyone else to really get past them. If they think they can get past one, they're suddenly getting crippled with the sand trap. They're taking a ton of damage. No one is able to get away with it. Ninu's already 50% to his next overpower. He just used it on the last fight, but he is just tearing through them right now. Finally, he'll get taken down by the Corvus, but ClownFiesta are still coming out on top of this trade.
Was the last hit by the support, if anything. Doesn't seem like they're giving up any space on the side of ClownFiesta. They may have gotten the kill they were looking for, but it doesn't seem like it's winning them the fight at all. Interstellar were only able to stall things out on one person. The other 4 were still ready to fight and still ready to battle. As you can see, Cripple goes out, stops down the Ash, but of course spreads out the damage. Ninu is up on top still, making sure that he keeps the pressure on high ground, but maybe overextended a little bit too much. Even with Xentra up there, it's hard to try and stop that Bomb King damage. Starts adding up after a certain amount of time. Boca gets taken out. Now this might be the moment that Interstellar need to breathe, as Vivian has to die as well. Doesn't want to get staggered out too long. So of course when she gets picked off, that means that now Interstellar have regained control, finally, after what seemed to be a very awful game on the start.
Yeah, they have good space in this church, even if the cart is very close. That just means that Interstellar can't really make any mistakes, and look at that Rom immediately getting slowed down and caught out of the run. But Interstellar still have their space. This is important with the BK holding so close, but once their shield goes down, they have to be careful, and Enfield maybe oversteps up front.
Yeah, Enfield already went down. That means that their numbers are thinning, and it seems like Xentra wants to follow suit and see what else he can do. Boca pushes up. Perfect timing from him to keep the pocket on Xentra and keep him alive, but all that happened was that they got flanked around. They managed to get the kill on the support in the back. But look at the cart. The cart has been rolling forward this entire time. Koga's behind them. How much more will they be able to stall out here? Now, I'm sure it'll be plenty of time remaining. With King Bomb on the side means that they take out Alex. That might be the turning point that they need. They finally took care of Barcode in the back line, but Xentra is up by himself. He can't take on Ash and Bomb King. So now Ninu has to wait for his own opportunity to step onto point to see if they can try and stall out in whatever way that they can. Of course, they do make it back, and they have 5 seconds to touch if they want to do so. Barrick is back in the saddle, ready to fight once again. They kill Barcode in the back, but the Entropic Breach, the Dome Shield, the Cataclysm, 3 ultimates used back-to-back, if anything, and they've managed to defend themselves as best as they can against ClownFiesta. Nina with the kill, tosses him in the infield. They managed to clean this one up, and ClownFiesta take this first dub.
Just a brutal ending there. Ninu was, again, completely in control that whole time, effectively. I felt so bad for Enfield, man. He just struggled on this ROM because Clown had a perfect draft around it. You want CC or you want Burn, right, to take down the ROM, whether you go through his health bar or stop his run. They had both. The Khan was stopping him, the Shah was stopping him, the Shah and the Vivian were burning through his health bar. The ROM struggled and just ended up continuously feeding Ninu more and more overpowers as the game went on.
A very, very quick game on Stone Keep. Let's toss it back to the 2 handsome individuals on the desk to break it down.
Thank you, Fawn and Krez. A pretty quick one here on Stone Keep. I don't know. I was going to ask you if you knew where they were because unfortunately they only have us here, Dave. Unlucky, I suppose. But
here's a handsome.
Oh,
here's a cute.
Wow. You're just going to throw Ramsey on the broadcast and not warn me at all. Are you serious right now? That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna upstage me in this way. She's big. Look at her little
She
pot.
is huge.
She's
gaining a pound a week. She's 16.5 pounds now, and only growing, which creates more issues for me. And teeth are growing, all that sort of fun stuff. But,
she's hungry. She's hungry right now, and she's gonna munch just like ClownFiesta munched on Interstellar in that game. I mean, 7.5 minutes flat, 4-0. This backline of the Shaolin was so potent. Alex was kind of able to do whatever he wanted, it felt like. He was all over the place.
Yeah, and look, I think Kresnik really rounded it out very, very well. I mean, I said I liked Interstellar's draft because, you know, I like teams that want to get forward, get in your face, get aggressive, take the game to you. But I hope I did it some justice in expressing some concern that I think this Shaolin, this Vivian, the ability to overpower any of that aggression was just so scary, I think, right? I mean, so much of what ClownFiesta had was working against the aggression that had been drafted there in game number 1. So back to the drawing board, I think. I don't hate the aggressive composition. I don't hate the aggressive mindset from Interstellar, but if you're going to be opening up the door to some of the picks that ClownFiesta was able to have, I mean, I just fail to see a world where that type of composition works.
Well, Jaguar Falls is going to be our next map, and this one always changes up the compositions a little bit. Aggressiveness still often the name of the game, but usually via flank on Jaguar Falls. A little bit more flank heavy for sure in this one, so maybe we'll see a little bit of a switch up. Maybe that Koga can be a little bit more impactful. We saw Zin be really, really impactful in set 1. Maybe that's something that we could see in this one.
And you know, just to kind of zoom out, one final thought on Jag Falls. I think this is where we're really going to get a sense on how this set is going to look moving forward. Jag Falls is about as natural, my team versus your team. You know, there's a slight uphill, little choke points here and there, but this is really going to be indicative, I think, of the way potentially what just Game 3 might look for, in that I'm kind of dancing around it. I think if ClownFiesta steamroll Interstellar here again, this set might just be over in 3 games, because that's just the type of map that Jaguar Falls is. But to your point, Aggro, a lot of mobility, very important here on this map. Koga not taken away. Zin, I think also, to your point, going to be very important here. But interesting priority by Interstellar. Take this Terminus. They didn't have that same sustainability in Game 1 that maybe they were hoping for. Terminus on Jag Falls definitely provides some of that. So I think a good start, a little bit of a pivot from what they went with in Game 1 that obviously didn't work. Let's lock down some point pressure and then move into the rest of our draft.
Makes sense, but if that's Ninu on the con again, I feel like you're already a little bit behind the 8 ball, and that you're probably going to get yeeted off the falls pretty quickly in this one, just based on how well he played that con on Stone Keep. With Corvus off the board and IO banned, it makes perfect sense to me that Genos is the selection here for Interstellar. And Androxus is going to be our first flank taken. When I think of flank, you know, Jaguar Falls, flank heavy, Androxus still doesn't really come to mind to me so much, because of the flanks, he feels like he's a little bit longer range. And speaking of longer range, how about a Strix here on Jaguar Falls?
Now that is interesting. I will touch on the Andro and that, you know, the ultimate, the Accursed Arm, great at clearing out some of these close quarters rooms if that ultimate is up and ready, and can dive into close quarters combat with the punch and all that sort of stuff if that's the opportunity that brings itself about. And now you might be feeling a little bit more comfortable with some range going against the Strix. If the Strix wasn't pretty decent into this Androxus, I mean, it's pretty obvious the direction that Andro is going to be coming at you depending on where you're positioning yourself if you're this Strix. Got to watch out for the reversal that absorbs and returns a lot of damage. This is an interesting pivot. You know, I think I feel good about this Strix because it's ClownFiesta and the priority, or the potential rather, that this Strix brings. It's unconventional, not unbelievable, but unconventional to see on a map like this. Very, very stationary, very kind of rooted backline burst damage. Setting up for this Zin now, setting up even for the Ram, the Khan, those guys who are going to be out and forward. It's the name of the game for this Strix, and if he can shoot down this Androxus, set up big damage numbers on this Vivian, I think ClownFiesta have a good chance.
Man, the fact that what we just watched in set 1, Zin gets to go to Jaguar Falls, probably one of the maps that you'd think of him most, and he gets 10th picked by ClownFiesta, feels pretty scary. But on the other side, you have that Sky, and Sky was so impactful yesterday in North America. We'll see if Smoke and Dagger is the call here for Interstellar, and if she will be anywhere near as impactful as she was in NA yesterday. Let's get to it. ClownFiesta looking good so far up against Interstellar.
Great call on the desk as always, you two. Jaguar Falls obviously is where we're heading, as the return of the Sky from North America yesterday. Seems like Europe has some plans of their own with this character. How do you feel like she fares into the upcoming draft against ClownFiesta, what they've built so far? Is it still, is it just as good as North America made it look yesterday?
I think it can be. I don't know if I want her without an off tank to pair with it. I think a lot of the time you want to kind of have her with that just to help push that lane, but Terminus and Sky, I think I say this every time we see this combination, but this was what people used to pub stomp with. As soon as the Season 3 patch came out, they liked the speed, they liked the healing. Pair it with the tank that can cleanse Cauterize as easily as Terminus, and it is definitely a pairing that works. But they are, for picking up this Sky, needing that Chronos to rush that Smoke and Dagger. They're going to be a little bit light on Cauterize. They're not going to have as much as they would otherwise. So this Corvus might be able to outpace them a bit. But look at this. They're not even coming to the point right away, and Excentra has a world of space made in front of him so far.
Biding time on the objective. Terminus puts up the Siphon just to stop the damage from Strix for a moment, but the real action is in the form of Simsulu running right on through him. Alex gets the kill on the Vivian in the back line, and Terminus has to find some sort of way to keep his shield up. Alex finds a double kill. The Zen is on a tear in the back line as he uses the Billows to try and find a way to, of course, escape, but so many kills. A delayed triple already for the Zen. And of course, Simsulu manages to find one of his own. This means, as you can see, that they are very, very excited to move forward and push up and get this zone, keep them from getting back to spawn. Very early dismounts. You can pretty much say that this point is secured for ClownFiesta.
I do love this aggro zone. There's no way they're going to get past it. Term is actually close, and the Sky Speed might get him almost there, but even they recognize that they're not going to make anything else happen. And now Interstellar have to find a way to find an initial pick to open the door on this defense, but they're giving up a lot of map control. Enfield, maybe not where he wants to be. They're feeling happy that Alex took a fight he didn't want to win, and now this ROM completely isolated on the left.
Maybe a little bit too aggressive is how I would phrase that. The rest of them have to retreat now. They were able to capture the objective, so that's at least a good thing. But on the flip side of that, Interstellar have been able to find their momentum. They stopped ClownFiesta way earlier than they were able to on Stone Keep, so maybe they'll be able to work something out for their own good this time around, as of course everyone is making their way back. They weren't really holding a lot of angles like that, because you can, as you can already see, ClownFiesta have made their way back to the previous position they were in a couple seconds ago. But Rom pushed for a little bit too much. Simsulu is there, time's ticking, and the bomb blows up, but they don't find the kill they were looking for, at least not from the time bomb. Sky is going to still be able to take care of Alex. As Accenture is all the way in the back, has to jump off, doesn't want to get staggered out, and the remaining members of ClownFiesta have to back off once again. They regained the positioning that they were already on, but I don't even think that it really mattered much. They just ended up getting poked down before they even got to feel comfortable.
Yeah, they couldn't end up committing all the way through, and there's a lot of damage for them to deal, so it works out, right? The triple DPS will win these poke wars unless they get isolated and get picked one by one. One kill gets traded onto Bolka, but it's 1-for-1s now, both sides.
Well, they managed to at least turn things around. Alex with a triple kill once again on the Zen. Wants to move up by staircase, and of course is making sure that he... Oh, okay, yeah. I understand. I know what it is you're probably going to say. Because
somehow,
right.
way, kill him through three walls. I was going to say, I think we might need to pause this game and have someone check out Alex, because clearly something's not right if that's how it goes. I know a perfectly normal Zin triple kill is going to be what lets them get set up for this last push.
It seems like they're going to get stopped once again in Veal. Finds Strix being a little bit too aggro, kills him. And the rest, now, of course, that means ClownFiesta have to retreat again for another time. They keep finding their way back to the objective, but they keep getting picked off every time they're trying to return to their previous positions. Interstellar putting on an amazing hold right now as the Siphon goes up, blocks any incoming damage, even if it's a small poke from Corvus, just to give himself a little bit of extra stacks or those little calamity charges that he needs. As immediately Strix walked right past him, makes it the point, but he gets picked off the minute he comes out of cloak, out of stealth. He gets killed, punched to the face for Corvus. Alex in the back trying to stall, but Ninu's down. Alex is gone too, and Interstellar, they've stalled this one out. Tie this up 1-1.
Great play by Enfield there near the end. Yeah, he didn't see the Strix, but that's just what happens in stealth when you don't have the Illuminate. They're definitely prioritizing some other items first, but Enfield is outperforming everybody else right now on this Androxus, even with Alex being the one to clean up every single kill, more than doubling all of the rest of his team's kills combined right now on this Zin. Zin kind of wasn't being explored as much in some regions. I felt like he kind of fell to the wayside outside of maps where Guillotine was super valuable, but Alex is running Yomi here because they are playing it into that triple DPS, using those damage boosts just to duel a little bit better. And I think it is a great look for a Xin, even though he's getting hit with the nerf bat next patch. Just seeing the way he can kind of out-duel people, run away as soon as a fight goes bad, I think that's the biggest thing for him, right? Being able to just counter and kite away or whirl around a corner. So many ways to just always choose the best fights for you, and if you're a good player, you can constantly put that to your advantage.
Someone gets tossed out, but it's not going to really find much. Simpsulu just dashes in, dashes through him, gets himself a little bit of health back, and they actually are able to kill Barcode because of that. Meanwhile, in the back line, Corvus is being pinned down by Androxus. He has to find a way to escape, and Zintra peels back for him. They get the kill on Envil, an overextension on his behalf, but an advantage taken on the side of ClownFiesta. Spin right on through. Alex moves into the back and gets another kill onto Snaze. Ninu finds that last hit of the damage from Excentra. Ninu and Alex is too much for even Terminus to handle, Siphon or not. As they do, oh my goodness, a Cataclysm all the way in the back. Rom finds his way right back in. Simpsulu flanks around. They weren't watching the sides, and it pays off well for them, and you can tell that it does because they capture themselves not only another point, but they're finding picks on the way to the zone. They're moving in, and they still take care of two as they get into their proper position.
And that's some great gameplay there near the end by Simpsulu, recognizing that when you only have one tank up, you're not going to be able to watch every lane a lot. That's why you see Interstellar kind of stacking the center lane pretty consistently. Simpsy just exploits that, comes in behind the term. He can't look both ways, and they're able to get some free CC from that point forward. But look at this now. Both tanks are rotating to meet the Terminus as Interstellar stack up hard on one side, but they can't stop the cart from moving, really, and they're able to get a little bit more out of this until Simpsulu overextends.
Siphon went down just to peel for the Androx for a little bit, and of course that means Ninu gets killed the minute he tries to go for anything that allows him to escape or try and stun somebody for a little bit longer. Thanks to his commander's grab. They got the kill. Now, of course, you see that they're getting the zone. It's been a very back and forth match overall. ClownFiesta and Interstellar, one side has had a zone on the other. One side's been trying to push the cart, mostly ClownFiesta. The other, on the side of Interstellar, has been too much, but the overpower is what they lead with this time. They want to cement themselves an opportunity. Simpsulu gets lifted up. The Void Grip is their Siphon to peel for his teammates, but that means the rest of them are in trouble because Barcode goes down. They're pushing up through the staircase, through mid, the whole 9 yards. They found their advantage. They forced the overpower out of Khan, and they wanted to make sure they could make this work for them. Envil locked in a battle one-on-one, but he's going to try and find his way to stall things out, slowly peeking around the corner, looking for opportunities to get the kills. But of course, it means all he wanted to do was force them to back up.
Yeah, I think that all honestly was used to hover more than anything, just to stay alive. And Envil continuing to be a huge thorn in the side of Clown. He just can't really get burnt down. They don't have that burst damage ever fighting him, and two go the way of Interstellar.
Ninu killed once again. You mentioned it before. Two of them are already dead, and Envil already has the accursed arm back up. He's going to hold it, obviously. Not going to want to try and burn it too early. As 30 seconds has now hit the clock, ClownFiesta have been struggling to find their way to roll this cart in. They've been struggling with capitalizing on their positioning. Maybe the kill on Envil, if they get it, might prove to be enough. Corvus heals him. Androxus moves away. They force him off for the time being, and he is going to try and find a way out using the nether step, trying to engage himself in a battle one-on-one against Rom, but you're not winning that one. Too much health on a very, very big, beefy Rom is going to be too much for Androxus to try and handle here as they push somebody out of secret. I can't see who that is, but they are trying to force them away, get them out of their positioning. Don't keep them there. Alex was the one in secret. They forced him back, and now he's regained his position in mid. He wants to try and help out his team as things are sort of getting stalled out here. The cart is inching forward. Terminus is dancing on and off of the cart, trying to stall things out. Ninu does get killed. The minute that shield is dropped and they manage to get a better angle on him, he's taken out of the fray as Rom has to move around. Simpsulu on and off the cart. It's just a battle for the ages right now as they're trying their best to stall, but they can't. Interstellar tie this up 2-2. ClownFiesta just haven't been able to find what they need to cement the cart.
I don't know if they needed to extend as long as they did at the end, though. I think when you lose Ninu, you got to be realistic and say, all right, Simpsulu's not sustaining on the card as long as we need him to actually get us all the way around the final corner. They just used a cursed arm. They just used sentinels before. Let's bail. Let's just get out and not give them any moral charge. It's not like Ninu is going to get any more of his own from the grave, so play that. But they try to make it happen, maybe to get Excentra closer to his flashbang, and now they're going to have those ultimates up a little bit faster. The time and space, the accursed arm, all will be I think, key tools for Interstellar to utilize if this fight ends up going along. But the real kicker here is going to be how this time bomb gets thrown into the middle of their team. If it can split them enough for the 3 DPS to find and get an early pick.
It seems like they want to toss a time bomb out into the back line just to keep, I believe, the Strix zoned out for a little bit longer, force them out of position, but they haven't gained anything from that. They toss it in the back, but it doesn't find any sort of mileage that they may have been looking for to try and help out things for them. Ninu gets killed. As they did force them out of position, it seems to have worked out for them. Time bomb may have not have gotten the kill, but it may have scattered them enough for Interstellar to take advantage of this. A cursed arm around the corner finds one shot directly into Rom. 78% to 6 so far. They have to find a way to touch through time and space. Goes out, hits Khan, but that's going to be the only target. They find Overpower immediately. They get the kill on Alex. Simsalou was able to touch in the back line. They've managed to retake things from a very bad situation and find themselves on the cart once again. ClownFiesta moving in. They know Barcode is there. The Illuminate is helping, and you can't escape from the con. The Magistrate has a bounty on your head. Simsalou, Ninu, Excentra, 3 people on the side of ClownFiesta. 3 players have found 3 kills. And now they're looking for more. They're trying to see if they can get those early dismounts. Simsalou on the ROM is going to find plenty of those, and they kill Envil on the way back in. They've captured another point on the side of ClownFiesta. It is too much for them to handle the onslaught that they've been putting on.
And look at this, Alex just goes in the back off the distraction of both his tanks, stacking in one lane, and then they just rush in. Excentra's, I didn't realize how far forward he was, but he's over there on the flank side, taking down Tired. Now, perfect control by Clown. They just have to find a way to maintain this, and I think they have good tanks to do it. The ROM can just pierce through them. Khan is very hard to dislodge, especially with only one tank to really do it. Plus, if this term overextends, that's a spite into a kill. Knock down his Siphon for long enough, and their team will, for sure, burn him down, but you might have overstepped. It looks like they're getting split by Envil, and Simsalou actually manages to get the better of him.
Trying to find the Billow on the way out, but this might be a... Oh, he knocked Vivian off of the side with the ROM split. The Cataclysm comes out. The sprint was too much for them, and he knocks them off of the side. 1:40, but this might be the conversion they were looking for. Can Terminus get to the objective and touch in time? They killed Envil, so now it's looking dire for Interstellar. The sprint, the whole CC, everyone's getting knocked up and knocked around. He dies on point, doesn't get a chance to revive, and ClownFiesta catch their second dub in this set.
This is the sad zone for Turbid at the end there. He's getting gripped all the way back to spawn. He tries to move out. He's just getting bumped against a wall by the ROM knockup. Just nothing that Turbid could do near the end. I thought he did a great job near the start of the game, but once they finally had that last choke point broken down and Excentra got set up near the edge, Interstellar really didn't have a chance. A sniper set up in a sniper position with 2 tanks in the way, almost impossible to break through.
Well, it seems like they had that onslaught. Everything on that map pretty much planned out. Interstellar put up a good defense, but ClownFiesta still take the dub on this one. Let's toss it back to the desk to get the analytics.
Thank you, fellas. Another clean victory here by ClownFiesta. But Dave, this one, maybe not quite as squeaky clean. Last time it was a 4-0. Now we've got that 4-2. A couple staunch defenses by Interstellar. Baby steps, maybe, for this squad.
Baby steps. That's right. Yeah, mid-fight, maybe in our next game. Well, it's got to happen in our next game, or else they're down in the loser's bracket. So the baby steps need to become grown-up steps here very quickly for this Interstellar squad. The writing was sort of on the wall, though, I think. I kind of feel one way or another about drafts in the pick and ban phase. I hesitate to kind of call things directly because so often in Paladins it just depends on very specific players and who's showing up on any given day, but the writing definitely felt like it was on the wall here with this draft. I admired the confidence to go with the Strix here on this map and the way that ClownFiesta were able to play it. I think Excentra, traditionally, in the past, we've seen him on more flex, off-tank, main tank, kind of in and out of that type of role, type play style, so to step up and play the Strix here definitely worked for this squad. Simsalou as well. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's flexed around. This guy was in the PPL last year, played in the World's Finals as a flex blaster DPS, and now he's playing ROM, just kind of rumbling at people. You can see the difference now in Game 1 and Game 2, and a ROM that kind of has direct counters, as Kresnik put it, whether it's CC or burn, and a ROM that kind of doesn't. I mean, Simsalou didn't necessarily go positive in strictly kills and deaths, but you can't necessarily measure pressure, and it just ran rampant there towards the end of the game. no pun intended. And Alex, I think, had a phenomenal game, top damage. This ClownFiesta, I expressed confidence in them and their ability to go far in this tournament for this reason exactly. They kind of steamroll teams. This is a 2 versus a 3 seed, and it feels like 1 versus whoever the bottom was in the EU region here this year because of just how good they're playing.
It's been very, very impressive so far from ClownFiesta. You said you can't measure pressure, but I saw that SimSalute took 178,000 damage.
Yeah, you can measure it.
Which is almost illegal, I think. I don't know. We're going to have to get a ruling on that one. Ice Mines coming up next. If you haven't been able to win a whole lot of midpoints, this might be a good spot for you. Maybe only need to win about 1. Just because converting can be so difficult, but if a team can do it, it feels like it's ClownFiesta right now.
Well, it's got to be. You know, I think this map more than any really lines up in the draft phase. In that, if I'm feeling even semi-confident in ClownFiesta and their ability to win most of these mids, then we could be looking at a quick Ice Mines here. But if we learned anything today, especially from our first set earlier on, it's that you can't count out any team here on Ice Mines. 1 defense can turn into 1 mid fight, which turns into a cap. I mean, that 3-point swing is more possible on this map, maybe more than any other. But as always, the draft will definitely tell us a little bit more. I look at the bans though for Interstellar, and there's a clear worry. And it's the flank and the Zin and that mobility. They think that he's at the top of that category. And then also Blasters. The Willow ban tells me that Interstellar realized that this is a ClownFiesta team that can play Blasters on a map where Blasters are very, very good, and Willow is at the top of that category. So those are 2 things that I'm now looking at for ClownFiesta. Obviously there's something in Scrim, something along those lines, that ClownFiesta have been working with that fall into one of those 2 categories. Sky absolutely does. She's good here on this map. I wonder what they end up pairing with her there. Again, if it is Smoke and Dagger, you throw a Terminus with Sky there on the point, it's very difficult to dislodge.
Really interesting that Sky has really not been prioritized super heavily. She was in the last game, but in a losing effort, and this is, I believe, only her 2nd pick so far here in Europe. It was very commonplace to see her top 2 yesterday.
Yep.
We'll see if that trend starts to pick up here in Europe, as ClownFiesta seem to think that it might. Strix and Vivian, pretty standard picks. We've seen them just about every single game so far here in Europe. And this Makoa continues to be pretty polarizing here, Dave. I mean, some games he looks unbeatable. Some games it looks like you can't win when you have him on your squad. How does he fare on Ice Mines in general?
Yeah, you know, we're running out of ways to say, you know, live by the hook, die by the hook. Yeah, we're going to have to bust open the thesaurus at some point, figure out different ways to word it. But I don't mind him here on Ice Mines. I think he'll be good at really what you want him to do is kind of dislodge somebody from those windows, depending on how ClownFiesta pick with their final pick here. They might not even have anyone playing up there on that high ground. I kind of, you know, it's sort of Khan Jr. with an overpower. If you're hitting a hook on a squishy target, it's generally just a free execute. I think that translates pretty well to most maps, especially on the push. If you're on the low ground, you can hook somebody down from the high ground. So I think absolutely here on Ice Mines he has his possibility of being effective.
So Saris is locked in here, Dave.
Oh, I'm talking about Makoa, and Saris is just chilling over there.
I just couldn't. It didn't register for me either right at first.
Wow.
Can you give me... I was going to be a jerk and ask for 3 reasons why you think we see Saris here. Can you give me 1 reason why you think we see Saris here? Then, and being down 2-0 against a team that looks like they might just be better is not an option.
I'm going to preface this by saying, thank God Kresnik is on the cast, and we'll have more time to dive into this, because he probably will give you 3 reasons why Saris gets picked here. Unless he hates it, then I'll give you 3 reasons why she isn't. Oh, man. Who's still available? Genos is still around.
Yeah.
Grover is still around.
Literally anybody else, yeah. They're all still around, yeah.
Convergence is a good ultimate, and she can spread out healing pretty well, and maybe you can do some damage.
Oh, big.
Over
Nicely
those
done,
other
Dave.
2? No idea, man. I gotta be honest. I'm at a loss on this one.
We really did see how good you were at your job during this death segment, Dave. Let's give it down to the casters for Ice Mines, Game 3. ClownFiesta looking at a sweep.
Good job for the desk, guys. All right, Kresnik. Don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I'm going to do that. Okay, why are there? Can you give me 3 reasons as to why there's a Ceres over Genos when he was left open on this map? Because I have physically no clue. Well, what is it she's bringing to the table?
I can give you 3 reasons, but it's going to be like when you write an essay in school and you've written 1 paragraph and the next 3 you're like, I have absolutely no idea. I could make up 3 reasons, but I really couldn't tell you why, especially why he's running Mortal Reach. This is such a close range map. What are you gaining with Mortal Reach? I guess the second, but run Soul Collector. This is your map where your spam can work. DPS Ceres, off support Ceres on this map, kind of sick. Honestly, kind of sick. They could have gone that angle, but it's solo heal Ceres. Running with Soulforged and Mortal Reach, just a weird little combination here. All right, well, that's all I need to know about this Ceres gameplay. That Ceres healing specifically, not the worst, but she doesn't handle getting flanked very well. And ClownFiesta have an Eevee on their side on Ice Mines.
Well, already conceding some of the space being afforded to them by ClownFiesta. I mean, they are forcing them out and keeping them away from the objective, keeping them away from starting their own game, and then VO dies in the first blood attempt of them trying to find some sort of way to make it out of Barn or hold on to it for as long as they can. It's not working out for them quite how they may have expected it to. Snaze is going to be the next one that falls. Both frontliners dead, but the rest of them find opportunities to kill the squishier targets, and Simsalou finds his go button. They found the kill, now they want to move in. He's positioned all the way up onto their enemy's opposing high ground, trying to put pressure into the Makoa, and finds the kill, making it extremely difficult for them to pretty much do anything. Siphon is going to get used, and of course Terminus keeps it up, drops down to peel for the Strix, but a beautiful wall from the Inara is going to make it hard for Strix to make it out. If it wasn't for the Siphon, I think he would have been dead there. First point already to ClownFiesta.
You know what it really is, though, Vaughn? The Ceres kills. Notice who has the highest ult charge on the team. I think you might notice it is the Ceres currently with Mortal Reach, and there's actually no way to block the ult, but Ninu actually, wow, taken down on that low ground. Once they get this convergence, they could go, but the Ceres manages to kill Alex on the Eevee as the pressure stays on from Interstellar.
Already seems like things aren't going too well for Interstellar, but a good kill onto Inara might make the difference here. Simsalou is sort of getting caught out. They're going to try and stagger him for at least a little bit, I believe, and they do manage to get it. So now it's going to be harder for ClownFiesta, or take longer, excuse me, for ClownFiesta to make it back to the objective. They're now trying to move in through Barn. A couple angles being taken here. As ClownFiesta are trying to play retake, and immediately the seismic crash. The time bomb is there, but it breaks the shield more than anything. The stun was still enough to make sure not only can they hit the gas pedal, but to also force Interstellar back and away from an ensuing fight. Ice Storm, Cataclysm as well. They're cleaning up shop here. The shop is closed, if anything. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. 3 minutes in the game in total. And you already see that ClownFiesta have plenty of more time in the bank to make plays like this happen.
A lot of ult spent, too. They basically did everything but the Entropic Breach. We'll see how that ends up hurting them when they get a little bit closer here, as they take a lot of damage, actually, kind of early. That Strix doing a great job, and this is going to be so difficult for Clown to push. There is literally an invincible Strix that can sit in the spawn door and be unkillable, but actually, whoa, he's getting really forward for what I've seen Strixes do on this map before. It does force Simsalou out, but Barcode is literally melee Strix up here, trying to find something to do, but they're kind of sacrificing this upper area, but it doesn't matter if he just finds kills on Alex.
Yeah, he's now looking for Corvus, knows that he's low, finds the next shot. They got 2 kills already thanks to Barcode. And Tyre finds another triple kill, really. Delayed triple for Barcode. They're going to super stall out this Inara as well. She's the only one remaining. They don't want to let them get this round. Runs into the spawn door, but regardless, they are still going to be able to get that kill. She's staggered. And of course, that puts a damper on the offense of ClownFiesta, especially with only 10 seconds left. They might be able to make it back, but I don't think it's quite plausible. Simsalou has to sprint in. Will he make it in time? Eevee is there, gets the touch, and now Rom makes it there. He's able to at least touch, cause the overtime, but he dies in the process. That's what happens when you don't have that Inara, really. There's nothing that can really stop them from killing you already. And since Rom's down, that means they somehow have to find a way to stall things out, but it doesn't seem like it's going to matter much. They get the kill on Inara and Sky as they make their way back to the objective. They tie this up at a 1-1.
Get one more kill there near the end for Interstellar, so some more credits in the pocket to do this, and their stats aren't looking too bad here. Ceres low on damage, which should be her edge, I think, on this map when you have to walk through all those choke points, but healing charts we'll see in a moment. Barcode is the one running away with it, Tired running away with it. I think conceptually, wow, the Sarah's doing very well in the healing, which is, it's her main utility, so that does make sense. I think the reason you might go for it is because if Saris isn't under pressure, she does have some of the strongest healing in single target healing in the game, if you can manage to keep the enemy off of her. The issue with her is that when she's pressured, she does nothing else. Right. Once the EV's on her, she has to go to shadow travel, and then the game happens around her. You know, she just watches her team end up falling apart. So if they can manage to keep her protected the whole time, then you're going to get the value out of it. Just about the rest here. Look at this. Unable to heal them right now as they play forward. Completely isolated as Interstellar, but they're actually getting the kill on the Inarmate.
Oh, she may have been a little bit too aggro with that. The wall was good, but the time bomb, what will it get here? Doesn't find the damage either. They get the kill on Ninu. Corvus seems to be the next one up to offer. As they do find him, Boca down. Rom's still alive, and so is the Eevee. They're at least trying to find a better position for themselves, see if they can come back at in a moment's notice when their team makes it back to the objective here, but they're in the back. And of course they know that. Cataclysm, beautiful block on the flashbang as well. They get the stun as well. They're finding a lot. Ice Storm gets dropped. It's a 2v4 right now as things are really coming through for ClownFiesta. Ancient Rage comes out, but Rom doesn't care at all. He's still fighting to the last breath that he has. Boca is going to drop the Entropic Breach. The whole kills are coming through for ClownFiesta. It looked like it was bad for them, but they say no way and hold on despite the engagement from Interstellar. They turn this fight around almost instantly.
I can't believe Simsulu lives that long. He just survives right in front of the ulting Makoa, because ulting Makoa just does no damage. He just does 550 every swing, and he probably doesn't even have any higher than Caught 1 for value around the half shell. So now, Interstellar's stuck in a retake situation with Alex behind them. That is not the kind of player you want on Eevee in your backline, but they have to get off the point. Smart decision by ClownFiesta, but it's going to make the fight go even longer.
Terminus causes the resin barn, but look at this. This could be a perfect Cataclysm if he decides to line it up. He's forcing them back. They don't want any of the smoke, but Simsulu seems to want plenty. The Cataclysm comes out, drops it down on Envio. The rest of them have to find a way to reposition as best as they can, but they're getting pincered once again. Siphon goes up. Simsulu's running right on through them. They're finding kill after kill. It seemed like a bad start for ClownFiesta, but they not only turn it around, but they make this a 2-1 against Interstellar.
Simsulu with a monstrous performance that round. I mean, he started the fight with the Cataclysm to block the Strix, and then has another Cataclysm again to get more kills, just coming out exactly when he's needed there. But looking at this push, ClownFiesta, they're going to keep relying on these tanks to make a world of space in front of them. Seismic Crash stuns them, and Simsulu's following up.
So many ultimates being comboed together. They're not going to stop at all. And you can't really stop them either. You have the Ice Storm, Seismic Crash. They always find a way to get a pick. ClownFiesta are really, really forcing so much on the Interstellar that they aren't ready to handle. Hook goes out, Earthen Guard perfectly timed to block the hook. Not going to get the pick on Exentra, and they are going to keep on rolling this cart forward. They're all backing up, wants a better position to be in, trying to see if they can attack from a different angle, but most are just pushing through mid. Some of them may have retaken high ground, if anything, and Inara is up there with the Sky. They force down Tired, and he's going to be donezo, if anything. They have to try and find a way out, is the Makoa, as he shell spins his way to safety, knocks up Strix while he's invisible, and tries to find what he can. They're looking for as much damage as possible, and anything to keep him trapped in there. And Tropic Breach gets dropped by the spawn door as Terminus is separated from his team. They're looking for a better opportunity to escape, but they can't because ClownFiesta make this a 3-1 against Interstellar on Ice Mines.
I really don't know if I love Barcode extending himself as far as he is forward. I think having the Strix up in that door helps so much when you have that extra poke and ability to stay completely safe. But Simsulu had a chance to go, and it forced them to use that convergence defensively to pull them away and save Barcode for another second. But he's doing a great job damage-wise on Strix, but he is potentially able to be Dove, and that is something that they will struggle with for sure as they move on here. But with 10 seconds left, ClownFiesta, they have a chance to end this set right here on Interstellar's map pick, but they don't have a ton of ults to do it. If Interstellar move fast enough here, if Snaze and Envil get super aggressive and make a play before Ninu manages to get his time bomb, they have a shot at flipping this one on its head if they can get forward enough, but ClownFiesta playing kind of slow. They expect the aggression because they know they need these ultimates to win.
It seems they're looking for a better opportunity to force something onto them. Simsaloo, of course, is in the back. Nothing to really stop him. They do manage to get the kill on Ninu, so maybe things might be a little bit better for him. Lining things up with the Ice Storm. The Cataclysm gets dropped. They find 3 in the back line. Siphon gets dropped for only a moment, but even still, Simsaloo still alive. They found 1 kill apiece as the Siphon is still up, if anything. Of course, dropping it, putting it back up, trying to stall things out against the team, but pulls them from right around the corner. Corvus is going to get taken out of the fight. Seismic Crash on the ground just to peel for Ninu for a little bit. Time Bomb gets dropped out. When the clock ticks, it's going to be trouble for anyone that's standing in that area. Ninu with a double kill as Terminus is going to be forced to use the res here, but this is what they want. They want a better position. They want a better angle. Makoa gets caught out, gets killed, and Excentra meets the same fate. They've traded things out 1 for 1 as Simsaloo puts the foot back, sprints right on through once again. Simsaloo and Alex have found a kill apiece as they're trying to keep Interstellar from making their way back to the objective. They don't want to allow them to have a retake situation. Terminus and the rest of Interstellar can find a way back, but it's a matter of if they can hold on long enough before ClownFiesta end the game.
Snaze doesn't have res for this either, so they have to get a touch and actually survive for it. And the clock is getting close. It's 99, it's 96, and they end up losing their healer right before the fight starts.
Seems like they've already lost 2 as well. They're trying to force things onto Ninu, onto Boca. They get Ninu, but what about the rest of the team here? Entropic Breach gets dropped down. No res for Snaze, and that's all she wrote as ClownFiesta take this one 4-1 against Interstellar.
And a big swing on the enemy team's map. Interstellar never really looked super in control. They had some moments when Barcode would kind of roam and really catch them off guard, but no mid wins for them. Some defenses where they struggled to kind of find the same magic with Barcode on that roam made it really, really difficult. And again, Simsaloo just never stopped. He just kept running them in, and anytime he wanted healing, his Sky was there to help him out.
You know, yesterday I mentioned the fact, what's the point of banning Rom? You know, you can just have things that sort of cripple him, that stop him from doing what he does, and this is why you got to have some sort of counterplay to that. We're going to toss it right back to the desk to close out the set.
Thank you, guys. ClownFiesta make it look pretty easy here in their set up against Interstellar. Dave, they find the 4-1 victory here on Ice Mines. One defense there from Interstellar, but as we already highlighted, you got to win some midpoints in order to find the victory, and they were not able to find one here in this set.
No, and again, not surprising from when you're going against the team. I still think might be the favorites despite their seeding. Saris definitely raised some questions, but if we're gonna move, I mean, realistically, I don't think adding a Genos or adding a Grover fixes what went wrong here for Interstellar. So while there were some question marks in my head around that pick, I think luckily we can focus more on what ClownFiesta did right and realizing that, all right, maybe you try to get a little creative with the Saris. Obviously it didn't work out, but I don't think you could totally hang it on the support pick here. I just continue to be surprised by Simsaloo and his ability to kind of slot into a new role here this year. This ROM was just kind of unbeatable in this set. We saw it a couple times. In game 1 it was over on Interstellar side. Then Simsaloo got it games 2 and 3. Looked near unstoppable for Simsaloo. This is a guy who likes playing the blasters, the DPSs, and apparently now he likes playing the ROM as well. Close somewhat in the kills and deaths department for Alex and Ninu. I mean, 9 and 6, 8 and 4, both of those are good. Excentra really stands out to me here as well, 10, 5, and 13 on that Inara. You know, you're always going to have a difficult time winning the game. This is a bit of a non-statement when you can't kill the point tank. The guy who's chilling on the objective for a lot of the time, not all of it, Bolka did most of it, but 57, ticks of objective time and not even being able to kill Excentra more than he's been able to melt you guys down is just not great. This ClownFiesta team, we're going to get to see how they match up against the Yoinkers in a couple of sets, and hate predicting things. Wouldn't be surprised if that's a foreshadowing of maybe how the finals end up later on.
Think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We've got our next few sets lined up for you here. We got Yoinkers versus ClownFiesta, as you highlighted, and now in losers round 1, we've got Celestial Esports up against Interstellar. That will be the matchup you see next, our first elimination match of the day.
Right.
Then we'll move on to Yoinkers versus ClownFiesta. Winner of that one guarantees themselves in the finals and a 1-game advantage. They put themselves just 2 maps away from being your European champions. And then the loser has to go down and fight off against the winner of match 3, which is what we are about to see. So lots of Paladins still in the tank here today. Make sure you guys are sticking around. We got a lot of great stuff still coming. In particular, that Yoinkers ClownFiesta set's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But we got to see who goes home first. We got to do that right after this. Make sure you're sticking around. We got a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Paladins World Championship.